Hello, how are you doing today? My name is Michelle Green, and I am the founder of Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. We are doing the Kingdom Builders Credit Repair TV show, and we want to come on and just share a few tips every Friday at 12:30 until so that we can answer some questions about credit and finances. Some of you may know me by my other businesses, Kingdom Builders Business University or Kingdom Builders Community Development Center. But if you're watching for the first time, I also own Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. So we want to talk about some things about credit because there's so much information that is available to us in the world today about our credit, and it's very confusing. So for those of you who know, I've been in the credit industry for over 30 years, almost 35 years to be exact. I know I don't look like it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But I am a credit repair professional. And that means that I have seen things before a lot of people started flooding this industry and saying that, they understand this and that. I was there at the very beginning, and I can't say that I was there from the original beginning of the time when credit first started, but I can say that I've been around for a while and I've seen the changes and the things that are permanent. So, we're going to talk about that in the Kingdom Builders Credit Repair TV show every week. Again, set your notifications and make sure you're subscribed to the Kingdom Builders Credit Repair YouTube channel. All right, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that button and set your notifications so you will not forget to get your tips for the week at KBCR. Thank you so much for watching. So let's get into this actual lesson. So, for starters, we know that credit is the opportunity for you to be able to gain something that you don't have the money for at the moment. It's kind of like a layaway, but at the same time, it's not a layaway because you get to obtain whatever it is that you are purchasing when you are applying for credit. So, for starters, we want to just establish and have the full understanding that credit is something that we can utilize because we don't have the money to pay the whole balance of whatever it is that we want to purchase. Whether it's a personal loan, we need some cash so that we can make some repairs, or if it is something that we need to take care of with our utilities. And by the way, utilities and credit or debt is not the same category of finances. It's not in the same category at all. So we have things like our vehicles that we want to purchase, or a mortgage, or maybe we want to gain an education. So we go and apply for a student loan. All of these are different types of credit. And with that being said, what we have to understand is that with the different types of credit, there are different types of credit scores for everything that we do, right? So every type of credit that's available has a different credit score number. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But I want to make sure that we understand that overall, credit is established in just two categories. Either you're going to have a card of some kind, or you're going to have a loan of some kind. And the overall perspective of credit by itself is simply to say that we are people who are going to pay our loan or our card back. So we appreciate the reputation of a company, a bank, or a credit union that offers us an available credit line so that we have the ability to obtain a purchase of whatever it is that we're applying for in the actual moment. We live in a world that is kind of instantaneous anyway. So we definitely want to make sure that we have an understanding that it's not just about getting something for the moment, but it is about our overall perspective that when we go through the application process, then on to the actual inquiry for them to run the credit check, and thirdly, for the account of that bank or credit union to appear on our credit report, that we have an obligation to pay them back. Now, I've been in this industry for a long time, so there isn't anything that I have not seen, I don't think, or at least I can say up to this point, there's a lot of things that are repeated over and over again. So listen, I get it. If you have some debt that you have not paid back yet and you broke your promises, that's what Kingdom Builders Credit Repair is all about, in helping you to fix your credit. So as you can see down below, if you are interested in joining our program, you can go to our website, www.kingdombuilderscreditrepair.com, or you can call us at 844-522-7552, or just send us an email if you like. Info at Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. KingdomBuildersCreditRepair.com, or you can also email us at info@kbcrllc.com, and we will be happy to assist you in your personal endeavors with your credit. But back to what I was just saying. So we have a loan, we have a card, and when we're looking at the whole credit game and how to play it, it is very strategic and it's usually not played from the consumer's perspective. It is not a game that we play from our perspective. So I want us to understand that even though we have obtained credit, some of us have obtained different types of credit, whether it's a vehicle, a mortgage, a student loan, a credit card, a department store card, which is different from a credit card, right? Then it doesn't matter what we've obtained, a furniture bill, an appliance bill, all of that is still considered to be some form of debt. Okay, some form of debt that we have signed a contract agreement to pay back. Now, whether or not we paid it back, that's, a whole different conversation that we can have privately in your actual session with Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. But, hey, everybody has mistakes. We all have different issues that arise in our life. Could be a death, it could be a divorce, it could be having a baby, it could be getting married, it could be any type of occasion that would throw us off course when it comes to our credit. So the first thing I want to establish is that we need to understand that everything that we agree to sign our name to is saying that we have agreed to pretty much sign our life away until we complete the debt. Now, in the credit world, even though you may sign your name and you are agreeing to pay off the debt, regardless of what circumstances arise in your life, we understand that even if you have signed it and you don't end up paying it, then there are ways around the ability to still increase your credit score. And that's what Kingdom Builders Credit Repair does for you. So first, we want to just make sure that we understand that we're creating a commitment to pay off our debts, a commitment that if we sign up for this vehicle loan, that we have an expectancy of paying and completing that full loan, no matter what the cost. 25,000, 50,000, 75,000, or 100,000 or more. It does not matter. Whatever we sign our name to, we have a accountability that should be established within us, even if it's not something that we were taught, if it's not something that we were brought up to believe or understand. I am telling you today, if you're trying to win and create this generational wealth that's out there, then you got to understand the first rule of credit is that a creditor, whoever it may be, whether it's a bank or a credit union, is allowing their reputation to merge with your reputation to say that you are committed to keep the contract agreement. And in the event that the contract agreement is broken, where you don't continue to pay them or you don't end up paying them off, there is still a solution here at KBCR. Okay, we can help you with that. So make sure you take down the information down below so that you can give us a call and get in our program. And if you're already in our program, thank you for being a client. We love you guys and we remember each and every one of you. And we are definitely always working behind the scenes to make sure that you have the best credit score possible. We cover every single area. the profile information, which I'll talk about in the future, not today. Then we have the inquiry section, which is when they actual pull your credit and you lose so many points from just them pulling your credit. That's right. Need to be mindful about how many times you're allowing people to pull your credit. If a creditor pulls your credit multiple times or even one time, but they are affiliated with other creditors who also are going to say, hey, let me get that social security number so I can see if I can give them a loan with a different bank or credit union, but you only sign at one place, they still will take the points away from your credit score with every affiliate company connected to the one that you originally signed with. And then the third part that we work on is the actual accounts. Anything that is a late payment, anything that is a charge off or a write off, or anything that is in collections or even public records. We help you to determine what is the best solution for you with every account on your credit, including your profile and your inquiries and all of the credit bureaus that are out there that are impacting your credit score. So let's talk about this credit score for a moment. First, we want to understand that in the world of credit has two different parts to it. Okay, so first we have the actual people who report the information of our credit accounts. And that is Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and Anovis. Okay, y'all didn't know nothing about Anovis? Well, you probably didn't know a lot about Anovis because Anovis is a fourth credit bureau, but they're not a major credit bureau. And so if they're not a major, if the company is not a major credit bureau, a lot of times they're in the background, but it does not mean that when you're applying for credit that they are not running the credit check through a Novus. Okay, so first we want to understand that there are credit reporting agencies, there are companies that are bureaus for the actual credit reports. So they're holding the information of every single creditor that you gain credit with. So if it's a bank, if it's a credit union, if it's for a student loan, if it's for a mortgage, if it's for a vehicle loan, if it's for a department store card, a furniture or appliance, or if it's just a plain old credit card. Listen, that is where the information will be held at the credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, TransUnion, and Anovis. If you're wondering how to spell that so you can go look it up, Innovis. That's right, Innovis. So remember that you got this from KBCR and no place else. All right, so that is the first thing that we need to understand is that the credit bureaus hold the creditor's information of whom we have established credit with. Now, on the flip side of things, there is another company that established the credit scores. And I know a lot of us out here are going around and we are obtaining our credit scores from different credit scoring companies like Credit Karma, Credit Wise, FreeCreditScore.com, Credit Sesame, different places that offer a credit score for the consumer. However, the original company that created the credit scores from the very beginning is Fair Isaacs Corporation. And Fair Isaacs Corporation, abbreviated, is FICO.com. So if you're trying to figure out like which score you should be going by, you need to go ahead and sign up for the myfico.com purchase of your scores. Because if you're looking at another system, another model, the lenders, about 95% of lenders are actually using the MyFICO system over any other system that there is. Now, the thing about it is when you do purchase the MyFICO, and key word here is purchase. It is not a free service. It is a purchase. So when you are purchasing the MyFICO services, you need to understand that you have to pay a $39.95 fee for the premium plan. That's the one that you should actually purchase, is the premium plan. So when we're doing the premium plan, we're looking at, hey, we're going to go ahead and buy a service that is going to give us every 30 days a credit score change if it is possible, if it changes, right? And then we're also looking at, you know, making sure that we're getting all the updates from every single account that is on our credit within that 30 days. So we don't want to just go in it at the angle of, I'm just going to go ahead and just purchase the my FICO system, but I'm going to do the annual one that's $19.95. No, you want to purchase the $39.95 one, which is the premier plan for the My FICO app. Okay, so once you get that downloaded, then you can go into the system and realize that, just like I just said earlier, that every type of debt is different. It rates you different on your credit report. There's also a different credit score for every type of debt that exists. So you're not just going into the equation of thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to go in here and get my Equifax, Experian, TransUnion credit scores, and I'm going to be fine. And whatever those numbers are, I'm good to go. No, that's not how the game is played. So remember, I was saying that all types of debt, there are different types of debt that you can obtain credit with. And because there are different types of debt that you can obtain credit with, they are rating in the FICO models different types of debt that you actually purchase. So if you have a credit card debt, that's usually going to be your general credit card score. Then if you have a personal loan, that's a different credit score and it's a different FICO model. So every model is named by a number because it's a different calculation for the type of debt that you have. So if you have a mortgage, you will not have the same three credit scores with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion as you would for a vehicle or for a student loan or a personal loan. You will not have the same type of score for a credit card that you would for a furniture or appliance bill. So we want to understand that everything is rated based on the type of credit that you are establishing. Okay, I hope you're getting some nuggets from here. If so, give me a thumbs up, give me a high five, give me a heart, give me something. Let me know that some of your feedback from what you are learning today. And let us know if you want us to continue to go deeper, or if you have a question, let us know what that question is. Okay, so next up, we are talking about the actual breakdown of the new changes that are coming about here today in today's society. So first off, I also want to establish that, got a lot of firsts there, but I also want to establish that there is a company in particular that protects every consumer in the industry of credit, to make sure that the credit bureaus, the credit scoring model companies like MyFICO, and like the whole shebang of the creditor making the availability of money to you to actually, borrow. There is a company that protects the consumer for all of that process. And that company is called the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, also known as CFPB. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is a company that really lets us know the regulations and the rules and the policies, the procedures of everything that goes on in the credit world, and allows us to be protected in that sense. So one of the new things that came out, now that we understand what credit is, we understand that there are two types of credit categories that we are establishing, a loan or a card. We also understand that there is a difference from the credit bureaus versus the actual credit scores. And now we're going to talk about the actual company that is protecting us as consumers with our credit and what the changes are concerning the whole scoring model. So back in 2020, there was a new FICO score model that came out, and it was labeled as the FICO 10. So the FICO 10 came out in 2020. It allowed us to be able to have a creditor look at our credit from a different perspective than the older models that were established. Some of you may be familiar with the FICO 8, but did you know that there's a FICO 5, there's a FICO 2, there's a FICO 4, there's a FICO 3, so on and so forth. So the point is that we had the system update for FICO. My FICO changed the model to a Model 10 in 2020. Now, some of you may have thought that this new model FICO 10 had just come out because there's a lot of news in the media talking about that there is a FICO 10, but the FICO 10 has been around for a while. That's why I told y'all at the beginning, I've been doing this for quite some time. So this is not new information. Also, not new information that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau even exists. They've been around forever. Okay. So they are not a new entity. They are not a new business. They've been around to protect the consumer pretty much since credit been around as well. So we want to just establish that, a lot of times we see things in the media and we are like overwhelmed by this information because we didn't know it. But it just because we don't know something doesn't mean that it just appeared or that it just happened. This is not new information. This is a company that has been around to protect the consumer for quite a bit of time. Okay, so the whole ordeal with the CFPB, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, is that there is a rule that they are trying to implement. And that rule is that people who have medical debt on their credit, that they will be able to have all of their medical debt removed. Well, this is a very significant change in the whole credit game. And the change is that most people who I service, that Kingdom Builders Credit Repair services, majority of our clients have some type of medical debt on their credit. And because they have that medical debt on their credit, it causes their credit score to drop usually over 100 points from what it could be. But a part of our program is to remove the debt from the credit report. Now, there are always changes, rules, and suggestions or recommendations from CFPB to improve the consumer's credit report. There are also changes that are always going to be in the equation of the credit bureaus possibly not doing their job or being sued. So I want you guys to, just settle down a little bit because these are things that have always happened in the credit world. It is not new information that a credit bureau could be sued for mishandling a consumer's file or many consumers' file or any type of identity theft breaches. Those are things that happen on a regular basis. It's just not talked about in the industry of the world for everyone to know about. But if you're in this industry, you know as well as I know that in the credit industry, these are things that regularly happen. Okay, so these are not new pieces of information, but in the media, sometimes it will appear as though this is something that just originally took place. But I just want you to calm down. Don't be freaking out. Don't be afraid of anything because this is something that already has taken place in the past and is probably going to continue to take place in the future. Okay. But the point that we want to get to about this medical debt is that when you have medical debt on your credit, it can be disputed. But first, we want to understand that medical debt, along with like our rent, our lights, our water, our cable, insurance, and things of that nature, or also not just medical debt, but our dentist bill, our vision bills, All of those are things that we consider to be utilities. Those are things that we put in a whole separate category from the things that normally should appear on a credit report. A credit report is a contract agreement that you agree with a creditor to pay back whatever it is that you borrow. But a utility is a recyclable bill. It's something that you will continue to use for the rest of your life because it's something that is reusable. It's something that you need in order for you to live. So it's kind of like what I call the basic living expense. We have a basic living expense budget that we take all of our clients through. And in that basic living expense budget, we show our clients how important it is to know what your utilities are so that when you get to the point where you're obtaining credit and you're obtaining any kind of debt, then you will have enough money left over to pay for the debt instead of repeating a cycle of going into late payments, charge off write offs, or collection accounts and public records. But back to what I was saying. So there was a rule that was sent out from the CFPB back in January of 2025, January 7th to be exact, saying that all medical debt would be removed. And there is an enforcement of this rule that is going to take place. Now, originally, this rule was supposed to take place on March the 17th. We are already in March. And so we are looking at just a few days of when this was supposed to originally take place. But I'm here to tell you guys that that date has been extended. And right now we are under the awareness that the date for the medical debt to be removed from your credit is actually June 15th. So the original date was March 17th, but now we're on to June the 15th of 2025 is when the federal regulations are supposed to kick in for us to have all medical debt removed from our credit. There is so much more information that I want to talk about. I want to talk to you about this new FICO Model 10T that is coming out. And what that will do, just like I just talked to you about with the utilities are not normally things that would appear on your credit, but under this new My FICO 10T services that they are implementing through My FICO, there is a possibility that we will be able to now add the utilities to our personal credit reports and it be able to count to help increase our credit score just from making our payments on time, just from paying our balances off. And we can talk about that a lot further if you are a client or would like to become a client, or if you want to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I will discuss that next week on Friday at 12:30, and we will get into the nitty gritty of the new My FICO 10T services. That is a model score, a score model that has now been created with the possibility of now being able to add your utilities to your credit. So two things here that are big tips that I want you to take away from today's message. That is that your medical debt can be removed, and it could be removed in the past, but now what they're saying from the CFPB is that they are trying to enforce all medical debt to permanently be taken off of all credit reports from the three major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And even the fourth credit bureau, Anovis, is one of the bureaus that we dispute here at Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. Also, we want to take away from today is that there is a high possibility that under the new FICO scoring model, the FICO 10T, that we may have the opportunity to be able to add the utilities to our credit. Now, for some of us, that's not a good thing. And for others of us, that may be the best thing since sliced bread. But we will continue to talk about these subject matters on next Friday, 12:30 until with Michelle Green at Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. All right. I look forward to talking to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye-bye. See you soon.